Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Say More podcast, episode 18. 18? Yeah, 18.
Wait, did you texted me it was 20th episode? Like,
No, so the event is episode 20. How cute.
what is it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was actually going to text you. We kind of need to do a podcast before the event. Forgot to, I needed to text you that before as well. So we need to do one before,
Oh my God.
and then the actual event will be episode 20. So we can be like, episode 20 is like a special one.
You're so cheesy, but I love it. I'm here for it. Happy episode 18th, Phoebes. And where are you now?
I'm in Canada right now. Absolutely. It's like we're in the same time zone right now, so it's kind of nice to be fair. But in the same time zone, it's like 8 o'clock at night right now. And we're doing this podcast. It's literally going up tomorrow because we've both been busy, busy people. So
I was about to
um,
say, how are we in the same time zone? And it's been the most difficult
I know.
podcast to schedule of all of them.
Because it's
Like,
been so like, I've literally like, can you do this time? And you're like, no. I'm like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. Can you do this time? No, I can't do that. And we're like, fuck, okay, let's do tomorrow. And it's just been like that. And we're like, okay, now we have a podcast that needs to go out tomorrow. So let's just schedule in the evening. But no, it's been really good. Like it's really surreal being here, I'm not gonna lie, because I've been to Canada for shows, but I've always wanted to actually visit and especially go to Pure Muscle and Fitness Gym, and visit just the area and stuff. It's just been so fun. Like, it's just surreal being here, if I'm honest. So yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
so what does a day in the life of Phoebe looks like right now in Canada?
Oof. It's like we get up at 6 a.m. because jet lag is a bitch right now, I'm not gonna lie. So getting up at 6 a.m., doing emails, whatever, then probably going to cardio at around 10 to 7 with Val, which has been an absolute angel. Um, she's been driving me around everywhere because I don't drive, fun fact. So she's been driving me around everywhere, which has been great. Um, and then what else have we been doing? Then I'll probably go to the gym to do some posing clients in person. I've been pretty much scheduling a lot of my online clients like very early morning for like, especially because it's based in the UK and stuff like that. So yeah, but it pretty much posing, training, cardio, being at Pure Muscle and Fitness Gym for probably around from 9 a.m. to at least like 5 most days.
Dang. And just
So it's been good. Yeah. Oh
content.
yeah, and content, all that stuff for HD and stuff. So I've just recently signed with them, which is so fun, and like that's why I think did I say that in the last podcast? I don't think I did
You
I?
did say you have a little secret, and I was excited
Oh,
to.
okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah. So yeah, that's
you
the
never,
reason.
you didn't say like, why you were going to Canada and stuff. Obviously, you had your video coming out, like, which is amazing. But
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. Of course, like, I have a lot of good memories out of HD, and to see you coming back home, I just find it so sweet. Just,
I know.
you just when you know like the people behind the company, like it does feel like you're going back home to like your family and friends. So I'm
Yeah.
glad everybody's around you. And I mean, you're so easy to be around, so I'm not surprised. But I know for a fact that they also are so easy to be around too, and just such a
Yeah.
pleasure and like uplifting. And they're also such badasses. Like, I don't honestly,
Um,
I'm very proud of my country because I think that we probably have some of the best like bodybuilders around there. Like, I don't know why the roster of bodybuilders is just so special and unique there. And just, I'm sure that when you go to Pure, like you see people in insane shape. Like it must be kind of wild.
like all the people there, like when I go there, there's like I look over to my left and there's like just huge bodybuilders like everywhere, and then look over to the right, there's like bikini athletes like posing, and it's like it's very inspiring and motivating atmosphere to be in, which is really like really cool. And I love like how I just love how kind everyone is. So like I didn't go when I went to the gym and didn't know really anyone. I know obviously a few kind of select people, but I don't know many people like to like train with or this at the other. Um, So it's been really nice, and people are like so friendly, like, oh, hi, I see you on your story, like, you're killing it, like, welcome to Canada. And I'm like, oh my God, Canadians are so nice. Like, I was speaking to, because one of my friends is down here as well from the UK, and we were speaking, and it was like, Canadians are actually so nice. Like, they're so, like, they're just so, like, so nice, like such a pleasure to be around. So it's just, yeah, it's just nice, a very welcoming environment. So for me, it's just made my prep and just being here even better. And if I'm honest, generally it's making me want to do a prep here one time. So potentially maybe next year, because I'm literally like, I would happily stay here and do a full prep here. I don't know why I can't prep in Dubai. For some reason, Dubai is like my relaxing place. It's very much environment for me. I can't. I feel like Dubai is my relaxing place, my place of off season, and then I'm like, right, Vegas is prep time, or like potentially Canada is prep time. You know?
Yeah, and just wait until it's gonna get a little bit cooler and you're gonna,
Yeah.
get a little bit of the fall like weather and it's just gonna be very special. Like it's going to be, oh no, wait, you're leaving after that. Why
No,
am I
I'm
saying,
leaving in five. Yeah, I'm leaving in
oh
five
my,
days. I'm coming
right,
to you in 5 days.
girl, I know. How
Well,
did I
5 days, like
forget
4 days actually. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm
excited for
counting
that.
down. I'm literally counting down the days. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot
I'm
wait to
excited.
hear more about it. Like, I mean, if you guys want to have a full podcast on Phoebe's experience, like I want to know all the details, but I don't know if you guys want to hear all about that. But I'm definitely I can't wait for to hear it all because
I know.
it's so nice. It's so exciting and so fun. And um it's just so many good people and great people, and I
Yeah.
want to know about this person, that person, and I get like
Yeah,
super
I
excited.
know. I
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I'll catch you up on all those deets another time and stuff. But yeah, how have you been this week? How have things been getting on? I know obviously you've said you've had a lot of hectic stuff going on, the same as me, but how have you been getting on this week so far with prep and just everything in general?
Girl, I just think the traveling part, obviously I went there like down to a science, right? I was like, okay, this is the prep company that's gonna, cook my food. I know them. It's gonna be fine. Um, but So I decided to do like five of my breakfasts, but I was going, to California for the seminar and then kind of like driving there and then staying there for a day. And then um, I had to like take a plane, go to San Diego, go back to LA. So a lot of traveling, and I was traveling with my pancakes and stuff. And like just the whole logistic part of the fridge situation. By
Oh,
the, by the fifth day of my travel, I had my green pancakes and I went to eat my breakfast in the Uber and I was like, it smells kind of funny. And
oh
then
no.
I obviously ate it. And
I was gonna ask you that. I was like, did you eat it though? Because like
oh,
if chicken, I mean, when it comes to protein, like actual like chicken or like poultry or something like that, or like even beef, if it smells funny, would you still eat it?
girl,
That should not be a waiting question. That should be a no. You're gonna get.
listen, that's what
You
Aldo,
thought about it though. You thought about it.
girl, I called Aldo. Aldo is like, why you're acting poor? I'm like, I'm not, I'm acting like someone who's in prep and who has
Acting
measured
poor.
who has measured everything and stayed up
I
until
know.
11 p.m. to make those freaking pancakes. I
I
want my
know.
75 grams of blueberries, and there's no way I'm doing it other way. So then I called Kim. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
here's the
funny.
situation. He's like, Lauralie, please order a oatmeal from Starbucks with no sugar, no sweetener in the run, and then your hard-boiled eggs. I'm like, what do I do with my blueberries? He's like, um, just have another like oatmeal at the end of the day with the travel and stuff. I'm like, so I just ate it
It's
all.
just
I
it's
just ate it
routine.
all. And then like the entire time that I was on the chair with the makeup artist, I was like, how am I gonna go through this? I'm nauseous. I'm never gonna eat
Go.
another Hulk pancake again. So I just started back eating my Hulk pancakes about 2 days ago because you know how it's like when you drink vodka and then you're like throwing up everywhere and you don't want to drink
Never
vodka
vodka
anymore?
again.
that's how I felt about my
That
pancake.
analogy. That's hilarious, that
That's it.
analogy.
That's how I felt for a couple of days. But no, I had, my God, such a great seminar with Sandy and
Oh,
Kim. It was unbelievable. I got to see Jess and Aria, who, shout out to them. They just both won the title of the first Master Olympia, which is,
insane.
I mean, Phoebe, like you texted me about Jess, like who doesn't love this girl? Like she's a
I
full-time
love
vet.
her so
She's a
much.
full-time vet and she is just the sweetest, sweetest human being you could ever met. And if you would meet Arya, he's like from another planet too. He's such a,
She's someone who's very like really interesting, if I'm honest. Like obviously, we saw, was it the Tampa Pro? You went to Tampa Pro, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah, and she got second to Ashton, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes. Did she?
Is this
Yeah.
the same girl?
I, no,
Are
the
you talking about
girl.
Area?
No, that's Ariana. So Arya is the actual men's physique.
Oh,
He's the men's physique from Kimoto. Like
oh,
he's
okay, got
also
you,
he's also
got
with
you.
Kim. His name is Arya, and very, very like very great man, like all the way through, but great athlete as well. And he was talking about like character building and all this stuff. And they were there like peak week, they were both
Oh
present at the
wow.
seminar peak week, and it was great. And then I got to see Sandy and kind of just really like talk about bikini. And it's just different when you get to those seminars because you really get like a one-on-one and just like their perspective on like real timing things. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely excited to talk to you about everything that I've like
I
learned and
was I
confirmed
was
and all
gonna
this stuff.
say
Yeah, I'm
I
not
was
gonna
gonna
keep
say what did you
I don't
you
want to
go?
gatekeep. I don't want to gatekeep, but there's so much to say. So I definitely want to like talk to you about how we can structure like an actual podcast. Maybe like even talk
Oh
to
yeah,
it
100%.
in our live event if the girls wants to like talk about that. I think it's
Oh,
like
we could maybe do that
me.
next week, to be fair. We could do this before. So maybe next podcast we can talk about the bikini for this year in terms of what you kind of learn at the seminar and stuff like that, if you're down to do that.
Yeah, and she's also always still talking about Sandy Williamson, you guys. If I just throw the name Sandy, but Sandy Williamson, which is the head judge of the Olympian, bikini guru, if anything. So she's getting ready to have her like third, I think that's gonna be the third annual women's workshop. So I don't know if have you ever been to the workshop
Oh.
yet? No.
No, I've seen it and I've always wanted to go. I don't know if I'm going to be. I know I'll be in America when that happens. Is that the same weekend as the all all girl pro show as well?
It's January 20th.
Oh no, I might be in America that time, but probably I'm not too sure. We'll see. But I've
Okay.
always wanted to go because I think it was either you or one of my other friends that texted me when I last year, oh no, for this year, sorry, and I was on one of the posters, like the little thing. I was like, oh, I really want to go, and there was a few people
You
that texted
were.
me, and I
Yes.
was like, that's me, and it was like proper fangirl. I was like, oh my god, I'm there
Yeah.
in
So
spirit.
yeah, the first edition was in Vegas and the second was in Arizona. This year's in Orlando, which is
Nice.
like easy for me.
Ooh.
But we got to talk about a lot of things, and she even broke down like the point system, and it was so interesting, and like how they count the points, and like yeah, they brought a lot of
Oh.
like great topic, and we were like kind of brainstorming on what exactly do we need as bikini wellness figure competitors. Like when you think about it, our sport is probably like 75% women, like pounds per pound, like person per person. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot more women in the sport, and we need proper guidance. And then I was like, training, like tanning, nutrition, all these things like has always been covered. But um Cindy was talking a lot about shape. So since last year, we've been talking about fullness and bikini and all these things, but she brought the word shape so many times. And I was like, that's a very interesting thing because there's a lot of people that can win off their structure and win off structure is with basically genetics, but then shape is built, right? So the judges are really like looking at shape right now, which is muscle building. So it's interesting to see how the perspective has changed and how they're kind of like reverse engineering like the bikini categories and all those categories. So definitely want to dive into that. And I was like, Sandy, we need to talk about, PT, like training, we need to talk about all like the recovery part and obviously like all she's gonna have mindset, people for the mindset. So a lot of like new segment and new topics, and I think it's very interesting to see the growth of the sport because what people were asking for like 8 years ago when I first started, it's so not the same thing that they're asking now. Like now, like the topic of like scrubbing your skin for your tan, like it's been repeated over and over again. I think people
It
are
doesn't need to be said.
it
It's we get it. We know how to do tan. We want to know what we need to do to win, what we need to do to be better athletes overall. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? I think that's going to be
And
really interesting.
the question when I was on the panel, Phoebe, just blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, like I actually need to think about this
Think
because
about
the
this.
questions were so deep, and I was like, wait, like, can I even, I was like, I don't even think I'm the right person to answer you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it was really, really interesting. So with that being said, another topic to have on our podcast, if you guys want to
Yeah,
hear
well,
more
I'm
about,
definitely down. I'm so down for doing that next week, to be fair. That'll be a really good episode. We should get her one day on the podcast. That would be very good, to be fair. So she could be our
yes,
first guest.
I know.
Okay. So I want to get into our first segment, which is the Ask More segment, where we answer one of the questions. And I have a question for you. I don't know if you have a question for me, but I have a question for you. And this was asked on my Instagram just randomly because I put a question box up, I think, the other day. Let me get it up because I want to say it right. So, and I want to know like what you would do. There's not much kind of like to it anyway, but like it kind of got me like excited in a way.
Okay,
Wait.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Someone asked, someone asked, what would you do if you and Lauralie were top two at the Olympia?
Oh my God, I would have a fucking fiesta. Are you kidding me? I would I
And
would
they
probably
specific,
lose my shit. Like I would probably like, we would probably go like, we would probably like do our walk to the back of the stage and I would probably
I
like
just
crack you a
cry.
joke and be like, this is so dope. Like I couldn't keep my cool. Like my smile would just like no, it would probably be my best stage presence ever.
I
Probably.
don't think I'd be able to like hold it in. I think I'd just want to like run and hug, like, or like
I
just be
know.
like, what the hell? Like, so someone asked me that, and that was really, it was kind of nice because I think obviously a lot of you guys and a lot of people have just said like, they like our energy, which is always lovely, but it's just nice to see, which will kind of go into the next topic anyway, but about how we kind of treat the community and our environment and just presence, having an uplifting environment around you when you're prepping. I think it's really nice. It's really something that you need, you know. But no, I mean, I'd love to hear that. Love that you were like, I'd lose my shit and have a fiesta, because that's literally the exact same thing that I kind of said when I looked at it and I was like, that's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. I'd just have the biggest smile in my like on my face. And
Oh
yeah,
my
it'd
God.
be
I would
fun.
like
It'd be
my
great.
heart
So
would run like 1,000 miles an hour. But even more so than that, I'm gonna tell you something like about the uplifting and like our friendship. Like I just think it's so what we have is so real and genuine. And when I say that, like I'm not bullshitting, and I've told you that so many times, how much I admire you and how I could literally like imagine you winning the Olympia and just be so I would be like, girl, let me hold your trophy, let me take pictures of you. Like I would be
that's
like,
literally what I like,
bro, I
not
would
gonna lie.
be girl, I would be like
Exactly.
your fucking like stage model. I would make sure that like your tan is on point. Your like when they put your medal on your neck, I would be like, putting your hair. I would like, girl.
That's literally what I in my brain, like for me, that is like to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, for anyone, just generally on stage, but honestly, for you specifically, because of how close I am to you, like, and just how much I love you, that's uh, yeah, it would be so sick. But that, yeah, that was the question, and that's so
That's
It's
so
cute.
cool
And
because it makes me like visualize. Like I don't think I have visualized like the Olympia at all yet. I'm not there yet. You know how you start like
so,
visualizing like the closer you get, but I didn't think about it just yet. Like people were talking about how
so,
do how do you like, Vegas like Orlando. I'm like, oh, this is good, like the venue, but it's the first time I think I've like visualized like the stage just because it could be like you and I. Like that would be dope. But yeah, that's a
so
good question.
that
Mhm.
question triggered like me to think exactly that. Like, holy shit, now it's time to manifest all these things that could happen
Yep.
at the Olympia. And like in when I was in cardio, because the last couple of cardio sessions have been tough, not gonna lie. I've been tired, like things have just been tiring, if I'm honest, because we're 10 weeks out. So it's gonna be it's technically single digits because it was 10 weeks yesterday. So I'm
Yep.
like, damn, it's coming quick. It's coming
Girl.
so quick.
The fact
So
that we
quick.
have
But
like 9 back workouts like blows my mind.
yeah,
Like
it's
however
weird.
you
It's
want to
weird.
say it.
Anyway, but yeah, I know that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's crazy, it's wild. But that triggered me to think, like, holy shit, like, what do I want to actually happen at the Olympia this year? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying is in like, it's easy for me to like, obviously, yeah, that was like in my mind when that question kind of came up or I saw it, I was like, that will never happen. And then for me, I was like, but why though? Like I kind of like was starting to think about it and then like on cardio and stuff and it really got my like head turning to be fair, being like, but why would it not happen? Like why would my mind instantly go to that being like, oh, that will never happen? Like and it's like think like that with anything, like you thinking like, oh, I could get I don't know, something away from competing or away from just anything, something you want in life you think, oh, that will never happen. But like, why? So like this week, if I'm honest, for me, like my head's really mentally been getting into it a lot more. Like, and it's really nice to have that feeling again though, because it's like you manifest these like things on cardio when you're getting tired. You really think about what you actually want to happen. And generally, like, it doesn't sound. I say it sounds silly, but it doesn't. I've been manifesting like literally like first call outs, us in top two, us in top five, like to get me through cardio. Do you know what I mean? To make me like, right, this is it. This is what I want to happen. And it can happen. And yeah, I was like, fuck, that's actually, it's kind of scary, like thinking about it when I'm kind of doing it. I'm smiling because I'm like, fuck, me saying it, it's weird, but it's cool to have that kind of mindset now going into the Olympia.
And to me, it shows on your body 1000%. So keep doing whatever goes through your mind right now. If it's not negative and it's putting you in a place where like you could achieve and it's really realistic, it's absolutely
Mm.
realistic. I'm gonna tell you why after. Um, Girl, it shows on your body. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look amazing. You
Thank
always
you.
look amazing, but I think you really lift, when your mind is there, it's just like it just shows
Yeah.
in your body right away. Um so yeah, but with that being said, it's possible in so many ways because it's funny. Some girl brought that to the seminar, sorry, and she was like, they already have their top 5, top 10. I'm like, absolutely not. Like,
Mm-mm.
imagine me going to the Olympia in 2018 and be like, they already have their top 10. Like, thankfully so, we didn't have like a lot of social media, so I had no clue what was going on at all. But the same, like when I cracked into the top 5 and finished second my first Olympia, that was the year when India, Norman, um, all the FMG models were like the same top 5 for like years. And they were multi-time winners. And I cracked it, I finished second place and I battled it with Angelica, and nobody knew who I was. So, of course, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? It's
100%.
even more possible now um, because if you win and your physique is undeniable, well, that's what's going to win. And that's how you want to
Yeah.
win also. So,
I
you
I completely agree with that. I
you're gonna be
completely
ready
agree
ahead
with that.
though. Girl, I was like,
I can feel it. I'm not gonna lie.
Did
We
I
were
text
speaking.
you that?
You
Did I
did. You were
text
like, you're
you?
getting ready. You were like, you'll be ready in 5 weeks. And I was like, shut the fuck
The second that I saw, I think it was a picture with a girl that you posted like on a. I was like 5 weeks. She's
up.
done. That's a wrap.
The, you're like, that's a wrap. You'll be doing a show early. You'll be doing a show after. It's like whatever. So, but I mean, that's the goal to be ready early. But if I'm honest, I did say to Adam, I was like, we need to make sure that we're not coming in like last time because that is how, like we were speaking about before, how I lost a little bit of my fullness, how I lost a bit of my pop because we were so ready early and we had to just maintain. And like, yeah, we can hold fullness, but it's not the same. Like we were speaking about this before. It's not the same as just coming in right on time. Like not right on time, but like when's needed, you know? Um, but I still got a while to go. I've still got like my lower is always the problem area, which it's like for everyone, I guess. But yeah. But going back to what you were saying about they have their top five, they have their top whatevers. Like yeah, the judges will have an idea of like who they've seen from just the competing circuit in general because they've watched a lot of the pros compete, whatever. But on the day, they're not afraid to decrown an Olympia, like a Miss Olympia. Like obviously Jen Dory, Maureen, absolutely incredible. But you know, Jen looked her best. Maureen looked her absolute best. And you know, a lot of people were rooting for Jen, but Maureen got it. But they both looked their best. But you know what I mean? Like no one saw that coming. A lot of people kind of said, "Oh, no one saw that coming," but they both looked their best. So, and one of them had to come out on top in the end. So I feel like, and even an example, obviously, with Issa and Ashlyn at the is it Tampa? Like, no, Tampa,
Yeah, Texas, Texas.
Texas. They're
That
not
was wow.
afraid. They
Yep.
both looked incredible. It doesn't come down to names. I think a lot of people think it comes down to names, comes down to who you are, it comes down to shape, how you look on the day, regardless. Like they don't care if you look bad, like not bad on the day, but if you're not 100% on the day, they won't reward it for that. Personally, I think.
And if
Which,
I feel that it's probably even more of a struggle when you actually do have a name, which means you have a name
yeah,
because you show up so many times. So like they know
yeah.
if it's your best or it's not. So it's even worse if they have a track record of like, oh, but she looked better there, and they can, obviously they don't do that, but subconsciously we're like they're human being, and
But it also is good for the athlete to know that if they've seen you at a best time, like I know they've said to you before, where you know at the Olympia you were too lean. They liked your look when you were fuller at one of I don't know what show you said it was, but at one of your other shows you were fuller. You brought that to the Arnold's and you won. Like it's good feedback for you because you're like, okay, cool, I know that look. Let's try and duplicate that. Like it's it gets more what's the word like fine details like picky when you're at the top because like you said they know you, they see you more often and they know what look they like on you. So um, but yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
very
always what we're
interesting.
striving
So
for. That's why I did so many shows the last years was kind of like finding the right shape. So that's what we
yeah,
did. But
especially
yeah,
because you obviously just kind of started with Kim as well. Like it makes sense too. So
yeah. But no, it's exciting time, and I'm definitely excited for you. I think you should be into that mindset and really embody that. And I hope that it's so like raw for you to also say like what went through your mind the first time that you read the question, and it was like doubt like right away and kind of like
mm,
denial
that's
right
where my
away.
mind goes to all the time. If I'm gonna be completely, we're still working on it. We're still working on
But
it,
I
but
mean, it's growth because you're not stuck in there still, you know what I'm saying? Like you're
yeah,
like you work through that, and I think to me that comes from what you know now. It's like your ability of doing, and it's very powerful. And I think it comes from within, which is amazing.
yeah. And I love that. So thank you for saying that. And I'm excited for you as well. I'm always excited for you because I see your growth in terms of physically, mentally, everything. I see all of it. And I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see your journey more than anything, if I'm honest, because I think the next 10 weeks for you, especially, are just going to be like, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. It makes me think about the conversation that we had this week when you sent me the little segment of Melissa. And I
Hmm.
actually watched the full podcast. Shout out to Melissa Bumstead for I think it's Giver podcast that they have with Courtney, and amazing podcast, and it's been so interesting. And now that you bring that reflection that you had, um, you know how sometimes you just saying like fake it till you make it, and we have those like sound bites into our mind of like no pain, no gain, and we kind of like feel that we need to be that no pain, no gain person, or like I can achieve anything, and like I manifest and all these things, and try to be uplifting in a way where it's not us just yet. And it makes me think about how different, the first time that so for the people that are listening right now, if you don't have a reference, basically Melissa watched a segment of Shay Mitchell, which I also sent it to you, but Shay Mitchell saying that if you come into my life and you want to steal my man and you actually succeed stealing my man when he was never my man in the beginning. And then Melissa went on the first podcast and kind of used that soundbite and took it for herself and said like that's my vibe, like this is, if you can't steal my man, and like it, as an act of like bravery and strong. And then she cut herself 2 podcasts after talking with her therapist, and her therapist said like when you said that you could hear it, that it wasn't you talking, like it wasn't real and genuine. And she was like, oh crap, like you know what, no, it wasn't me. Because if I think about someone being able to lose, like make me lose my husband, I would be devastated. And the act of bravery for her is to admit that, because it's so brave to stay into it just like in perception of people, it's so brave to say like I'm untouchable, I have no emotions, nothing happens to me, like no pain, no gain, the grit, champion mentality, I'm gonna eat everybody, like being like. But for most people, just that persona is just to hide a deep fear into like their soul that is just not it. So the fact that we're able to be on that podcast and our platform, and it made me think about the whole purpose of like our podcast and everything. It's like how raw can we be and real with people about our growth, and like to admit how much we're not there yet and we're not expert at anything, but we just keep moving forward. And that's basically what both you and I are doing. And I think we're more in connection with our thoughts now than, for me personally, I've never done before. Because I would just go, like when you just start going and you just do content and you do YouTube video, and it's like, what's
You
up,
just think, don't
everybody?
do.
What's up, everybody? Today is meal number 4, number 5, and like this is what happened, blah blah. Like, and it just, yes, it's real and it's not a lie, it's the truth. But like, tell me how you felt when you saw that question. Like, you doubt right away, and then you had to do the work to get into that mindset. But sometimes like you would spend an entire prep not even get into that mindset of being able to like manifest,
Mm-mm.
and you literally go through an entire fucking prep not even thinking you can crack the top 5. The fuck? But like that's how much time you and we've been in the sport, and like going through preps and literally have like a mindset of like a loser, like not a loser, but just like a very small mindset. And it's like, it's crazy that we do that to ourselves, but it also, it takes so much like self-awareness and like self like reflection. It's insane. Like now you have it kind of like quick. You're like, wait, let me catch that like negative thoughts right now, and like let me actually dive into it. But it's so easy to just especially you, because you know when you said like I always go there anyway. So you're like, this is just part of me anyway, and like you're so good at hiding it because it's been so part of you for a long time. But I love that our podcast is just like a platform of just being able to say it like, hey, actually, like I don't have my shit together 24/7. Like I had that thought and I'm not hiding it to anyone, and now I've worked through it. And what would you say when you had that thought? Like how long did it took you to like process that negative thought? Like, did you catch it right away? Were you on the cardio when it happened? Like, did you have to talk to somebody? Like, how did that interaction happen? I just think it's interesting because we're talking a lot about mindset here and like character building things. And I think diving into like our self-doubt and negative thoughts, like just explain to me the process of that, because it was very raw and genuine and just like very sudden.
Mm. Well, firstly, damn, like that like speech you just gave, I'm like, well done. Like that was yeah, you're like, yeah. Uh-huh. So that was yeah, I was just sat there listening and I was like, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, when it like when I got that question, I think I put it when did I put it up? Friday. So I put it up no. I put it up yesterday, I think. I actually put it up yesterday. So and I was on cardio and because I was looking through the questions and stuff and I was on cardio when I was doing it. And my actual facial expression and like when you look at something you just go like like that. Like kind of not like I just kind of was like but then all of a sudden I was like someone's actually believing that I could do that. Like someone has the belief that I could do that. And I was like, wait, do I believe I could do that? And I was like, I feel good. Like this prep's been very good. I feel really good within myself like this year. And like, I believe it could happen one day. Like, so like, why are you saying like my initial, like you said, like I said, reaction was like, no, that'll never happen. And I was like, someone actually believes I can do that. And I was like, I can't, like, can I do that? Like, it was more of a, I can't do that. And then all of a sudden it
Did,
was like,
so did you went
well,
to like
can
look at the
I?
so did you went and look at the person that asked you the question? Like what was the process? Like you were like, who's that person that
Well,
think
it
that
was
like
no, like it
about
was just a case of like I was looking at the question. It was for me. I was looking at the question for ages, not the person, but the question. Like just reading it over and over, which sounds like really silly, but like I was just sat there like reading it, and I just didn't. It didn't commute for a few like moments, and it wasn't like I had to go away and then think about it. It was like all of it happened within like 5 minutes. It was kind of like a lot. It just went like this all of a sudden, and I was like, wait. So I was looking and I was like, no, like that would never happen. Then I was like looking and reading it over and over and I was just like, but why? Like, why would it not happen? And then I was like, do I believe it can happen? And that all kind of happened within, I think, what, 2, 3 minutes? And
yeah.
then it fit because it was like kind of coming to the end of my cardio and stuff. And it actually made me, it maybe increased my incline or and like steps on my cardio because I was like, fuck yeah, it can happen. And I like used it as motivation. But for me, like I said, the initial thought process kind of went, no, that won't happen. Which for me, with bigger goals, that always has been the case, which sucks that it is like that. But that's where my mind just goes is self doubt immediately. But I really, like you said, I try and catch myself like, that can happen. I've done so much that I'd never in a million years thought I'd ever achieve. Like when I first started getting to competing. So for me in my head, I'm like, you have to tell yourself like nothing is off limits at this point because anything could happen. Do you know what I mean? Like you coming second at your first ever Olympia, you probably never planned for that. Like going into that Olympia being like, yeah, I'm gonna win or I'm gonna get second or top three or whatever. You probably just went in there like, let's see what happens and let's do my best. And look what the turnout came up. And now you're like, okay, anything's fucking possible. Like I can do what I like. If I have a big goal in mind, yes, it's big. Yes, it's scary, but it definitely isn't impossible. So I think for me, that's definitely the mindset I'm trying to perceive this prep just this year and just in general, that be the atmosphere I'm around. Because for me, having that atmosphere around me as well, like Max telling me like you could do that. Like you could. I to be fair, I haven't actually sent it to him, which I'm surprised they didn't, because usually I send him stuff like that. Um, but he tells me constantly like you can do anything. Like yeah, you're tired or yeah, you're doing this, but you're killing it. Like keep going. You saying like just literally before we obviously got on call, I was like I'm fucking exhausted. And you're like we got this. It's fine. Like let's go. Like that type of environment, that energy, the people you have around you, so important to actually then achieving that. Because if everyone's telling you around you, like, that will never happen, like, what are you doing? Like, shut up, Phoebe. Like, that will never happen. Like, that's really unrealistic. Like, you're obviously going to think, like, maybe not. Like, and not even try and achieve it then. So, like, you won't even try. And, like, it's the same with when either toning pro or just even competing in general. Like, I know so many people that, like, I've posed whilst in Canada that are working towards next year and they've just got the courage to kind of do it now, like, and be like, oh, I just, haven't never believed in myself before. And I always was like, why? Like I said, why have you never believed in yourself? And they're like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough. And this is this. And I'm like, anyone can compete. Anyone can get out there and compete. If it's on your mind, it's going to be a regret if you don't do it. So like if it's on your mind and you're thinking about it constantly, you're like, I want to,
Yeah.
and then you're like, maybe I won't do it. That'll be a regret later on down the line. With
Yeah,
anything in life.
I
Anything in
think
life.
I think a reasonable amount sprinkles of self-doubt is
Oh yeah.
legit, like it's legitimate, and it's fine until it doesn't paralyze you. And
Mm.
for you, it
Until
just
it stops you.
it made you dig and actually increase the incline, which is probably would have been my reaction as well.
I was
And
like, fuck yeah, let's go.
once able to drive that within you and by yourself, it's a different kind of grind. It's a different kind of grind. So
Mm.
hopefully you carry that on for the rest of the prep, because it's very genuine, it's very pure. And we've been talking about environment like so many times, but I think the higher you are as a competitor and the more you do that, the more not only the environment, but you start sensing the genuine, like the authenticity, the real belief. And I think that's why our connection is so special, because it goes really deep. Like I really admire you, and I want the best for you, and obviously like I believe in you, like my God, day in and day out. So uh I think for a long time, my environment was great, and I thought I was, loved by everyone and everything, and all of that is great. But then the thing is, when you don't, when you feel that everybody around you is genuine, then the noise is just gets really, really loud, and you're not even hearing yourself anymore, and you just kind of navigate through like a lot of not genuine things. So there's no real depth to it, and there's no roots to it. So I'm even more aware now of like the environment and how much the authenticity, like the real
Yeah.
thing. So I try to find that in myself, 200% of the time, like, and not, if there's somebody, like, I just take it as extra. And it's good that you have Max, but it's good that you have obviously me in the corner, because I believe in you so much. But it's so pure, because I'm not gaining anything from that, and it's always great, we have coaching and it's great, but it's not the same thing. Like when you have someone in your
No.
corner that just doesn't gain anything from telling you how much they believe in you, like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here to make your trip easier, to make your, all the things, that it comes from my heart. So I think um to be around those type of people, we talk about uplifting things, and I was like, oh my God, our podcast should be so uplifting and all these things. I'm like, but what does it do really? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
I know like the impact that we have, but like, what's the real impact that we can have is that some girls are watching and they're like, wait, I want to have that reflection on myself actually. Like, it happens to me sometimes where I self-doubt myself and I just like stay in bed instead. Well, whomever is going through something hard right now, like I encouraged you to just go on the treadmill and just put that question that scares the shit out of you and makes you self-doubt and keep staring at it and go through what Phoebe just went through and really ask yourself, but why?
Mm,
But why? And just like keep asking yourself why until you find a fucking answer. Like
mm.
ask yourself why. Like, and it might make you cry, it might make you like upset and just like navigate and try to find peace into that chaos of like all these emotions or whatever you're
Oh,
feeling. And yeah, like I think um I think that's why I wanted to bring the podcast even more. It's like how can we be uplifting, but for the girls to be independent into their own uplifting situation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like uplift,
I
like you
apologize. My
uplifted
light is
yourself.
just completely.
Like you're uplifted yourself into like your cardio session. That's
Yeah.
when that's when you
Uh,
touch another chord. Like because I know where you went. Like it's a crazy feeling. Like I know where you went because I have those like silent cardio sessions sometimes and I'm just like there and it's silent. I don't have any music. I'm not looking at anything and I'm just going step by step and it kind of goes through the same thing, but I don't really know what's going on, but I just know it's like I need to get this fucking shit done, but like I'm doing it with all I have. And all I have right now, I can't even look at something because it makes me nauseous. It makes me want to sleep. I can't even have like I don't even have the energy to like even have music in my ears because it's like too loud. Like I just need to go step by step and finish this shit like as strong as it gets. And yeah, it's really special, but I think it's in everyone's.
yeah.
It's within us. It's just we just need to like find it. And that can be really uncomfortable, but um it's interesting. I feel like it's interesting because it's self-doubt. It's something that no one is ever like never in your life you're gonna be like, okay, now I'm good. Like I'm never gonna self-doubt myself anymore on anything.
That never happens.
No,
Almost
it never
never
happens.
happens.
It never happens. Even my God, I watched like so much interesting stuff, Phoebe, like this week. Wild. Like a bunch of like medley, but I watched Andrew Tate's interview with a psychiatrist. I need to send that to you.
Oh my God, please.
Fucking wild, okay? And I was like, it's just the way that this man manifests his thing is just on another level, and it was just very inspiring. So, Aldo sent me that and told me to watch it, and I was like, I watched the whole thing. It's so interesting, and I'm gonna
That's
watch
so
it the second time
interesting.
because it's really interesting. And then I watched, I sent you the podcast channel a long time
Yeah.
ago, but Molly's. Have you watched like, the movie Molly's Game about the girl that
No.
no, oh my God, you need to watch this. Okay, so this girl was 23 years old and she started to have like a poker, like an illegal poker game with like a $250,000 buy-in and she got caught. Like it's a whole yeah, like
Oh my
it's a
God.
whole movie thing, but the girl is just I mean, you can only imagine like the badass like that
Yeah,
she
I was gonna say it sounds badass to be fair as
yeah.
well.
So the
Fuck.
real Molly Bloom went on this guy, Diary of a CEO, which I love watching his stuff. Just she went on there and she was talking about like active listening and how basically she was able to literally like have people like lose $100 million like on her table at her games and have the most famous game in New York like for years. And she's talking about like, the psychology things. And then yesterday I watched until like 3 a.m. Johnny Depp and Amber. Um,
I want to
the
watch that on Netflix.
Yes, you
I
need
want
to
to
watch the
watch
same thing that I
that.
just watched. It's gonna blow your mind, and I know you're gonna love these things, but everything had like such like psychological things, and it was so interesting. So I think that's why I got so like inspired. And I was talking with Aldo and about our event, and he was like, "But what are you guys talking about on the podcast?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Who's your audience? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Wait." I mean, we're talking. Like people
Yeah.
love us talking. And it was like, but you didn't want to do the same thing. I'm like, no, but it's us. It's not the same thing. And I was like, wait, you
No.
just caught me to like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know what you were talking about. Like, we're talking about stuff. Like, we're like, I was like, damn. I was like, okay, we need to like the purpose in our podcast, but the purpose I think is just like to be positive and
I
like,
think
and
in my brain, the purpose of this podcast is just impact, like making an
yeah,
impact and making you think. Like, obviously, yes, we talk about bodybuilding, and we said from the beginning, like, we wanted to obviously still have that aspect, but it's very much going to be a mental journey for anyone that listens. Like, it's going
yeah,
to be like making you think or just double check yourself, or, like, we never wanted it to be like, obviously we wanted it to be educational, but not purposely going through glute exercises or going through like diets or this or that, because we were like, if everyone does that, and we can also give that to you on our separate channels, but what, like, when we say more, we want to say more from like the heart almost, and like
yeah,
the mind.
yeah.
So like,
Yeah, and it's funny
yeah, I
how
love
like I
that.
was like, damn, I wanna start like cutting myself into like again like those sound bites that we just kind of use, how same thing that Melissa was like, it just she just came off like so naturally, like yeah, like I relate to that. Like Shay Mitchell, like if you come in my life and you steal my husband, like it was never mine before. And I was like, damn, I wanna be that girl. Like I wanna be able, but then you're like, wait, I could say that all I want, but is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth? Damn.
It's the environment you put around yourself, like we said before, like it's the environment we put around ourselves. So if we listen to those things over and over, like yeah, we could think that, but it's not actually how we feel. And that's with anything, like
Yeah.
that anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could be, I don't even know what an example is, but you could be, I don't know, the strongest man in the world, but like, oh no, that's not a good example. But you know what I'm talking about. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm talking about. It's in like
yeah,
you
exactly.
tell
So,
yourself something over and over.
yeah, so like I'm like, damn, it's really interesting and I think we're so blessed to have a platform where we can do that and be like, we're no expert, but we're just going through those things and it's just a
Mm.
good because I feel that you could literally live off like TikToks and like just talk like build your character off TikTok. Like, oh, I want a man to be like this TikTok that this girl is talking about because this girl is so beautiful and she said that,
Yeah.
she never put gas into her own car. But it's like, do I really always want my
I don't fucking
boyfriend?
care. Like,
Like, do I
I
really
don't
want my
care if
my
my boyfriend buys me stuff.
exactly like do I want my boyfriend to always put gas in my car? Not really. So why would I be like. But
I could do it my fucking self. Like, leave me. That's what my answer would be. I'd be like, stop doing that because you're pissing me off. I could do it myself. And to
but
be fair, you
like,
ask
I feel
Max,
like
and he'd say that.
the generation is going to be more and more like just TikTok building character. Like it's
Mm,
just going to be built off TikTok, built off like the comparison they get of like social media, which is all highlights and not fake, but it becomes fake if you're not true to yourself. So you
yeah.
need to really ask yourself and not just like grab sound bites and just live off sound bites because yeah, it's probably like a very safe place to live because you're never really being able to connect on deeper levels. But the way that I'm able to connect with you, Phoebe, is through like vulnerability, is like telling you how I think. It's like telling you that I messed up, like telling you that shit, not really, yes, really, or like being honest with you, like back and forth. And I have a literally little amount of people that I'm able to do that, but I'm trying to cherish that as much as I can. And I know we obviously can't do that all the time, but
No.
I'm like, why not though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this podcast to just become like the same fucking shit, like talking about, oh, like I don't know, like talking about we're obviously trying always to get those topics like as much as we can, but I never want us to like get away from it and just become generic and just be a podcast full of soundbite that you're like, oh, Lauralie said that. Like you see a TikTok and like, wow, Lauralie said the same thing today. Like Lauralie, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I think that's the whole goal, and I'm bringing that also because we're having our event that's coming, and
Like, I'm
I'm
so
so
excited.
I'm so excited,
It's
and
gonna be so fun.
I
Do
know.
you know there's actually, I think, I don't know if, comment down below if you're the girl that is coming. There's a girl coming from Toronto. There's a girl coming from New
Yes,
Mexico.
I know. We need
There's
to.
girl like there's people coming from everywhere,
I know.
which is so cool to think. And also there's a lot of people which we do apologize about. We did do this on the very last minute. We gave you 2 weeks to kind of, be, come to this event. So thank you so much to everyone who has already bought tickets and is wanting to come to the event. And obviously, we do apologize that anyone that couldn't come, because we know it's also on the same time as like a few shows. I know there was a few people that said that there were shows going on, so we apologize about that. We're definitely 1000% going to be doing another one at some point. So we'll definitely give more time, way more time, so people can actually plan stuff. But I'm excited for it. I'm so
Yeah,
excited for it.
we're putting a lot of energy to make it really to our image and like, our like little community thing that we've built, and we appreciate you guys so much because it's it's so interesting to see because I've been doing meet and greets and like meeting people for a long time, but I haven't traveled and went to a seminar in a long time. And when I went to Kim's seminars, like people were telling me two things. The podcast, how much they love the podcast. They watch the podcast every
Love
time and like
that.
they love the podcast, which is like so insane to me because
We didn't
that's
expect this.
yeah, I mean, because normally you get different comments, you know?
Hmm.
And like that's what the people get the most out of me right now, like value wise, like valuable. So um trust me, we don't take this lightly. We're gonna make this event like very valuable for you guys. But I think now it's just really based on like connection and community and just a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, it's good. I'm excited, but I'm also like
I'm
I
nervous, not gonna lie. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm nervous. I always get nervous for events though, even when I do like posing seminars or something group wise, I always get like, oh my God, how is it gonna go? Like again,
you
so
know what
going back to that self-doubt, I always do it and I shouldn't, but I'm always like, what happens if no one turns up? What happens if people hate it? What happens? And Max will tell you firsthand, he's the one calming me down. But I've learned, like, I'm actually more excited for this event, I think, more than anything, because I think we're going to connect with a lot more people on a deeper level in terms of mental side of things versus like just asking questions about this. It'll be like more connecting with the person or the people that are there, which I'm excited for.
yeah, yeah. All the way through. Yeah, I'm so excited too. And I think the only thing I'm nervous about is just the fact that we're prepping. And I'm like, I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I want to do all these things, but I also know, okay, cardio there. Like I'm about to like we need to drop and I need to go past the one because I'm still in 150s right now and we want to go down to 140s. And I know this is going to be like very brutal the next week, so I'm trying to like keep my cool and just put
Yeah,
all the things on the side to like, still us have we need to keep the Olympia in mind, right? So like that's
yeah,
always the bigger picture. So I'm always trying to schedule okay, like that's when we're gonna eat, that's when we're gonna have our training, that's when we're gonna do a cardio, like making
yeah.
sure that we're well rested, all this stuff. But everything's gonna be taken care of. I'm super excited. If anything, like we're gonna like just run through adrenaline. But
I was just about to say, when I do things like this, it's for me, it's like I just run off people's energy and run off adrenaline for me
all I
and
know.
caffeine and a lot of caffeine.
Literally.
So
Yeah.
that day I'll be over caffeinated and so excited. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get each other through it. We'll get each other through it for sure.
Oh
Then we
my
can
God. Oh my
smash
God.
cardio
I
at the end of the
have
day.
Girl, I have no doubt, and I can't wait. I'm gonna see you before that, obviously. So I can't
Oh
wait to see
yeah,
you. But I
it's
was
gonna be
like,
good.
I told Kim, I'm like, why you guys? I haven't had like a lunch break. Like, what's a lunch? 12 to 1. Like, what if my meal number 3? Like, I've just had my meal number 2 at 11. I can have my like, you guys need to do your event on a bodybuilding like manner.
Schedule. I
We have
know. I
6 meals
know.
going on. Like we need meal one time, meal one two, meal one three, like a little 15-minute break. That's all I need. You know?
Yeah, I know what you
It's so
mean. That's
funny.
funny. I mean, yeah. I mean, are you happy with? I don't know why I said, "Are you happy?" My brain is like shutting off now. I'm not gonna lie. That was a proper brain moment. I was like, are you happy?
I am. I'm really happy,
My
Phoebe.
brain. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. So I think that for me, that is a perfect time to say thank you for listening and thank you for watching
Babe, you are
today's
priceless.
podcast.
I love
Wow,
that we're on the
Jesus,
same
that was.
time zone. I love that we're on the
I
same
know
time zone.
it's actually really nice to be
Like
fair
I can,
because before it was swapped,
I
so it's
know because now I
nice.
can experience you like at the same time, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay. This is Phoebe at like 9 p.m. That's how it look. Like how it looks.
Yeah, and
Like I know
this is
you're
how
just
it looks. It's not pretty.
I
It's
love
not
I
pretty. So,
I love you, babe. I love you very much. You look
oh,
amazing.
love you too.
I cannot wait to see you and hear all about it. I'm gonna send you
Love
everything
you.
that I've watched this week. That's good. Like,
Yes, please get me through the week and then I will see you on Friday.
can't wait,
Can't
babe.
wait. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, um, interact with anything, all of our YouTubes, everything like that. It means the world to us. And we're happy that you enjoy our podcast. Like even this week, like when I've had posing sessions and stuff with people, people have been like, your podcast. Like I know you said about the seminar, people are literally like, I love you and like Lauralie's podcast. And I'm like, that makes me so like happy, like that you guys just love it so much and connect with it. So it's amazing. It's amazing. And there's so much more to come with that.
The best is yet to come.
Yes, exactly that. Right. We love you
Love
guys
you
so
guys.
much. And we will see you soon. Mwah.